Well, let's go over the phone lines and speak to Honorable Isaac Adongo, who is, and I guess at this point in time, Honorable, he's member of Parliament for Bolgatanga Central. At this point, still not confirmed as ranking member, I believe.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, okay. But he is the choice for ranking member on the Finance Committee. So once Parliament resumes, he will be confirmed properly. But he's been talking about issues with the finance sector for a long time. And I recall he famously told me that our finance minister was the biggest threat to the financial sector. We spoke about this matter of the governor of the Bank of Ghana before even the protest. Now, the protest has happened, Honorable. And this is the response from the governor. The minority in parliament have main channels to channel their grievances in civilized societies, not through demonstrations in the streets as hooligans. What do you say?
Well, it's very unfortunate, but somehow I believe that we have treated Governor Addison with so much kid gloves that he's now grown wings and basically doesn't respect us. And we are partly to blame for this situation. You would recall that since 2017, I was just alone fighting the governor of the central bank. Throughout 2017 all the way to 2020, I was just the only lone ranger there. Nobody was interested in what was happening at the Bank of Ghana. He saw me as just one person among the lot who was giving him hell. And at some point, if I tell you what I went through in Parliament because I was fighting Governor Addison, you'll be surprised. I was a persona non grata. I was seen as a rebel. I was called names. My big brother, Haruna Idisu, had to resolve a lot of complaints about me. And what was my fault? My fault was that I was fighting somebody who was going to destroy us. And that was Governor Addison and Ken Oforiatta. Now today he's surprised that all of a sudden that group that was protecting him in Parliament is suddenly up against him. Will he respect that group? That is a question for everybody to ask. He wouldn't. But Governor Addison should know that he is a product of hooliganism. One, he is the creation of the Constitution. That Constitution also created the right of the citizens to protest. And so the same Constitution that created the governor of the central bank's role is the same Constitution that created hooliganism. He is a product of the appointment of Nana Akufo-Addo, the champion of hooliganism. Nana Akufo-Addo came to government on the back of series of demonstrations, on the back of series of hooliganism. And that gave birth to him. So whether he likes it or not, he is the first product of hooliganism. Now, he talks about civilized societies. In any civilized society, people like him would have honorably resigned and left that office. That is what civilized societies do. But of course, we are in uncivilized society, so people like that are being entertained. People like Governor Addison even have the voice to speak. And people like Governor Addison still earn a living by consistently appearing in an office they should have left several years ago. When Governor Addison set out to collapse, together with government, our financial system, it was quite clear that we had failed as a nation in passing our laws. You see, Sarah, when we pass our laws, the biggest assumption we make in the passage of laws is the assumption of the right-thinking good man. The laws have always assumed that the people who implement the law are the proverbial good men, and they will act in the interests of society, and they will apply the law consistent with the thinking of right-thinking people. But when you find that the law now gets into the hands of non-right-thinking people, it falls into the hands of the wicked, not the proverbial good man. He will collapse your financial system and make sure that over 400 financial institutions are destroyed. That is the failure of law, which assumes that the law will be implemented by the proverbial good man. We have had example now of what a proverbial good man, when he doesn't assume office, but a wicked and senseless person assumes office. This is what happens. But of course, Addison must know that he does not have the prerogative to determine for the people of Ghana what is in our national interest. He does not have the prerogative to determine the mandate of the Bank of Ghana other than what mandate the people of Ghana has given the Bank of Ghana. So when at any point in very civilized society that he knows, people feel that the mandate they have given them is inadequate, the mandate they have given them is constraining of their ability to deliver on the job, and emerging extenuating circumstances require that they be given an enhanced or varied mandate, they follow due process and go back to the people and get a new mandate. And that mandate legitimizes what they think should be done. The people of Ghana gave you a mandate. And they believe that that mandate is what will secure their national interests. And that mandate they gave you, if properly implemented, and the steps and actions are followed in accordance with that mandate, our national interests will be achieved. That is the only definition of our national interest. I know what somebody else thinks. If you think that your national interest is different what the people have decided, you go back to the people through Parliament to present your thinking of what the national interest should be. Then the people of Ghana will give you that mandate to reflect your understanding of what our mandate and our national interest to be. You do not sit in your bedroom in your house and you arrogate to yourself the power to determine what is in our national interest. That is not part of your role. That role is given to a select few who the people elect to represent them in Parliament, and not you. So when the people of Ghana pass a law and say that all covered entities are not allowed to write off any public asset or abandon any claim belonging to government, you cannot abandon that until you have gone back to the people for them to approve it. That is what they believe will secure their national interests. It is not your power to now sit in your office and say, oh, for me, I just think that I can write off 32 billion owed to government because it is in our national interest. That is not what the people have defined as our national interest. We have defined our national interest. And you don't have the power to determine what national interest it is other than what the people have given you. And the people have given you a mandate. That mandate is that you can write off with the approval of the Parliament of Ghana in a simple majority of a resolution.
Ghana's gold.
That is our national interest. The people of Ghana have said that our national interest is that we should, when we want to print money, which is an important asset, we must have control over how the money is printed and make sure that the money does not fall into the wrong hands. And says that come to Parliament, tell Parliament why you are printing the money. If it is for replacement, we would understand. If it's for new currencies and an additional inflows that you are bringing in, the people of Ghana will evaluate and take a decision and give you a mandate in law to go and print it. That is our national interest. Anything other than that is not our national interest. It is your personal interest. The people of Ghana have said that you cannot give more than 5% of the previous year's revenue to the government of the Republic, because in our wisdom, that has the potential to create fiscal dominance over monetary policy. In our view, if you do not do that, you will be distorting the inflation targeting framework that we have put together to control price dynamics such as inflation, interest rates, and the depreciation of the currency. So that is our national interest. And that is the mandate we have given to you to perform that. But our democracy allows that if things change, if circumstances emerge, and you feel that that 5% mandate is inadequate, and you think that that should be varied, you have the right to go back to the people and make a proposal to the people and justify why you think that that mandate should be enhanced. And we are right-thinking Ghanaians in Parliament with a responsibility to take decisions on behalf of our people. And if we see reason, we see that that is the best way to go, obviously, we would approve for you. And that will constitute your new mandate. And that will constitute the new definition of our national interest. So you don't go and do your own thing. So if I had not done that, the economy would have collapsed. I will ask you, you say, I hear somebody was talking about all over the world. They have not done that against their national interest. They have not done that against their laws. They have done that respecting the laws of their land. That law, those laws, when we say our national interest, we refer to the series of laws that we have passed, which we believe, when complied with, will secure our national interest. A violation of any of those becomes an enemy of our national interest. And Dr. Addison has acted in a way that suggests that he's an enemy of our national interest. So no matter your good intentions, we have said that you cannot decide for 31 million Ghanaians. If you think that you are too sensible and too wise than everybody else, come and tell the 31 million Ghanaians why you think that you have a better solution. And let us give you a mandate to cover your new thinking and your understanding. You can't go to a good school like McGill in Quebec, Canada, and behave this way. I mean, how? How do you go to such a famous school in Canada, in Quebec, McGill, and this is the product? I don't know what we learn. You know, in very civilized societies, your qualification gets you a job, but your ability to deliver on the job keeps you on the job. In an uncivilized society led by Akufo-Addo, your qualification is just enough. You can mess up. You can decide not to deliver. You can decide to act with impunity, but your connections with the president will keep you on the job. That is an uncivilized society. And I'm surprised that he's complaining about an uncivilized society when he's neck deep in uncivilized conduct. But he needs to understand that our constitution is quite clear, and it does not lie in his mouth to determine for the minority the course of action we take. As long as our action is legitimate, is consistent with the law, and does not violate public decency, it is for us to determine what we want to do. We have determined at this point in time that public demonstration of our displeasure was the best weapon available to us. And you tried through your cronies to stop us in court. You went to court, we fought it, and we had the mandate to go ahead and do what we did. And we did just what we did, consistent with the liberties we have taken from the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. It does not lie in your mouth to determine what we should do. But when the time comes for us to take a parliamentary decision, we will not be asking you whether we should take it or not. We will take it. So, if we are talking about hooligans, then you should understand that a country is doomed when criminality feels very comfortable and stronger than civility. And this is criminality fighting civility. And when that happens, then the country is in abeyance. And I'm surprised that one of those people that I heard you quote there, his tweets and whatnot, you people should not be giving that guy that kind of attention. This is the man. You remember Ajapa royalties deal? You remember Ajapa?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That was the man who was appointed a legal consultant to his firm.
Yes,
and I remember on Metro TV, I was discussing this subject and he had been recorded. He said that he doesn't understand why we are saying that they are manipulating the system because the market will determine the price, and that's initial public offering. No? Which market determined initial public offering? And this was the consultant who didn't know that In an initial public offering, it is the issuer who undertakes the various processes of valuation and the determination of the price. But he was referring to the market who determine the price. The market doesn't have the power to determine the price of an IPO. How that person became a consultant to an IPO he didn't even understand beats my imagination. And this is a man who is talking about Ghanaians. And you people are entertaining him. Me, I've stopped talking about him years ago because I realized he's not at my level. The man doesn't even understand the things he talks about. Were there not the people who are on the street crying that they work like a bull and pay taxes? You don't remember that one?
I do. Today,
the other one say that was positivity, not negativity, right? When they were wearing kojai, red, and roaming around and fighting everywhere and crying that they are working like bulls, that was positivity. Today, the same thing is negativity. Is that what he means? He was not wallowing in negativity. So please, you people should learn to ignore certain people because they don't deserve the attention that you people give them. This is somebody who doesn't even understand the contract he has taken on. And he says that it is when you have issued the initial public offering and your pricing is wrong. And the next day you go, people who buy them on IPO decide to go and sell on what we call the secondary market, the resale market. That is why the people who are now coming will determine whether they will buy it for 2 cities or 3 cities. But in an IPO, you determine that you want 10 cities. It's not the market. And this is the consultant, the legal consultant, the guru. He will say that the market will determine an IPO. And you want me to, we are wasting our time discussing such a shallow mind. So please, I told you, remember there was a time he came to me when I said that they were collapsing banks to support their businesses, and he came and said that, I don't know, DS is an investment bank and somebody is a commercial bank. I decided to educate him on what banking was all about, and that his thinking of banking took us back over 25 years. We've passed that long ago. We now deal with universal banking, where investment banking, commercial banking, and development banking have all been put together as one and issued with a one license. So a bank can decide what he wants to do once he has a universal license. This man didn't know this, and that's a lawyer. So please, let's ignore that man because it's a waste of discussing him. But I'm a Governor Addison. I'm happy that my colleagues have now woken up to what I saw several years ago, and I believe that with a concerted effort, this is the beginning for Addison.
And that's the point I'm coming to, because there are those who are of the opinion that Governor Addison can only say this because at this point you have not, the minority, the NDC, have not set a deterrent that prevents people like him from making this kind of comments, that they have little respect for you in a minority. They feel that you had no teeth to bite. So when you do things, they can come out and make this comment coming from a public servant who occupying the position of governor.
Yes, I have said that. But you see, you remember that too long ago, and since 2017, I have had occasion to write through my lawyer to Addison to remind him of his obligation to Parliament, and have issued threats that I will take him to Parliament if he does not appear before the House as required by law. Since 2018, Addison failed to appear before Parliament. Even when he submitted statutory reports to Parliament, with the exception of the Public Accounts Committee, Addison would not appear before the Finance Committee. I had to send him a series of legal threats until he appeared in the last sitting to answer questions to his 2022 reports, the 2021 reports. So it is not only the minority, he just doesn't respect the institution of Parliament. The institution of Parliament. And it is all because we allowed this to be a one-man fight. A one-man fight. And not a collective fight. If it was a collective fight, in fact, in some of the instances that I wrote to Addison. I was just an ordinary member of the finance committee. I didn't have any leadership role there. But I wrote copiously to Addison. And in most of the situations, Haruna will get a complaint. Hey, your buy is resting to Addison without telling us. Meanwhile, if you tell you won't do it. If it's a press conference in his office, why is it a low press conference? If I tell you to, you won't do it. Okay? And I did it because it was necessary that I did it. People's banks were being destroyed and were mute until 2019 when Omia now decided, out of one of his numerous tantrums, to attack GM for that. And even then, I, as just an member of the committee, was the one asked to go and prepare and deliver a press conference. And just a member. That shows you how we surrounded our responsibility to hold Addison to account when people's properties and assets were destroyed and people were losing their jobs. That was what we did. And that emboldened him. It is only Adongo, if I don't come to parliament, he will talk. What can he do? Until I started wanting to take him to court and engage a lawyer. So we must be serious, and we must be seen to be actively fighting the battle. But now this is to call him my big brother ABF Hussein once said that you must first have a head and keep on. We must first win power before anybody can. Me, I've always said that if we win power and your mama thinks that my best role is to come and sit in his office and be receiving calls, that is how you want to deploy me. But must win power first to save the people of Ghana. That is very important. And I have gone through a lot. Look, I am here and people have different perceptions about me because they don't know the fact that I had to single-handedly step out of the lane and pursue an interest for the collective. I have to deal with that. But I'm happy that today we are waking up to the reality that the biggest enemy in our country is Addison and Ken Oforiatta. Can you imagine that we set up a committee to deal with Ken Oforiatta and remove him, and Adongo was sitting at home? The man who has been working with him and fighting him, I was not even featuring on the committee. This is how we are. We don't put our best foot forward. And they are seeing a weakness with us. They look at it and say, oh, these people are not serious. So we can take these people for a ride. They don't see the strength that will come when we need to fight them. And it's about time the minority and the people of the Parliament of Ghana are bold and put our best foot forward to let public servants understand that we represent the 31 million Ghanaians and we speak with their voice, and that we will hold them to account. Until then, public servants will treat us with impunity. The way Addison has been emboldened, he's now grown horns, he now looks bigger than Ghana, and maybe when he violates the laws with impunity, he would insult us and talk about civilized societies when he himself is a sign of uncivilized conduct. That is all I can say for now.